Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today we're diving into a treasure trove of information about NPK International. Are they soaring to new heights or are there storm clouds on the horizon? Let's find out what their latest report reveals. This is an 8K filing, a type of report companies use to announce major events. The date of the report is February 27, 2025, which means we're getting a pretty current snapshot of what's going on with NPK International. First things first, who are we talking about? NPK International Inc., incorporated in Delaware. They've got a file number, a tax ID, the whole 9 yards like any other corporation. Their headquarters is in the Woodlands, Texas. Good to know where they're calling home. And if you really wanted to reach them by phone, you could try calling this number. NPK International has its stock listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol NPKI. This means you can buy and sell shares of the company. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. Item 7.01 talks about Regulation FD, which stands for Fair Disclosure. This rule basically says that if a company shares important information with certain people, like investors, they need to share it with everyone else at the same time. This levels the playing field and prevents insider trading. NPK International has prepared some presentation materials that their management will be using. They might be talking to investors, lenders, or even their own employees. The key point is they want everyone to have access to the same information. If you want to see these materials, they are on the company website, at least for a few months. These presentation materials are being furnished rather than filed. Sounds like a legal distinction, but it means they aren't necessarily on the hook for everything in them. Next up, the report mentions non-GAAP financial measures. GAAP stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, which are the standard rules for how companies report their financials. Non-GAAP measures are numbers that companies calculate differently, giving them a bit more flexibility in showing their performance. This report mentions a few: adjusted income, EBITDA, free cash flow, and net debt. It is important to compare those non-GAAP numbers to the standard ones, and the company includes those in the attached document. Speaking of attachments, Exhibit 99.1 is where you'll find the Q for 2024 presentation materials. Finally, the report is signed by Greg S. Piontek, the Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. This means he's taking responsibility for the accuracy of the information presented. Now, let's flip over to Exhibit 99.1 and dig into the actual presentation materials. I'm going to skip over the forward-looking statements and disclaimers, though it's important to remember that what the company says it expects to happen might not actually happen. Alright, let's check out their latest quarterly numbers. Alright, here is some financial data. In the fourth quarter of 2024, the adjusted EBITDA was about $75 million. This is a measure of their profitability before accounting for interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. The company's free cash flow was close to $50 million. This number is important since it is the money a company has available to expand, pay back debt, buy back stocks, or simply save for a rainy day. Their net debt, meaning their debt minus their cash, is around $800 million. That's a pretty significant debt load, so it's something to keep an eye on. Now, what does it all mean? Looking at NPK International, it seems like they're doing all right, generating a good amount of cash. However, that debt is something that they need to handle. One risk to keep in mind is that the company operates in a very competitive market. If they don't keep innovating, they could fall behind. So where does this leave NPK International? They've got solid cash flow, but that debt is a weight. Their success hinges on managing that debt, staying ahead of the competition, and continuing to execute their business plan. Thanks for watching Corporate Decoder. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more corporate deep dives.